All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Brock, and this is WCS 240, Writing for Digital Media. Unfortunately, we're not in the classroom. I don't get to actually stand in front of you guys and meet everybody, but we are going to make the semester work somehow, right? We'll get through it. It'll be okay. Before we get into talking about the class a little bit, I just want to introduce myself. Like I said, my name is Brandon Brock. I've been teaching here at Nazarbayev University for 5 years now. I actually just had my 5-year anniversary last week. Seems like it's flown by. It's gone very quickly being here at Nazarbayev University. I love teaching here. I love living in Kazakhstan. Not planning on leaving anytime soon, not planning on going back to the US where I'm from. I love traveling around the country. I love seeing all the amazing sort of landscapes and nature that Kazakhstan has to offer. And I love Kazakhstan so much that I actually ended up marrying a Kazakh woman. Some of you may know her. I am originally from Texas. I am from El Paso, Texas, which is right on the Mexican border. I went to school in El Paso at the University of Texas at El Paso. I got my bachelor's and my master's there. I got my bachelor's in English and American literature, and I got my master's, a Master of Arts in teaching English. So that's just a little bit about me. You guys will introduce yourselves here in a little bit as your homework, so to say, right? You'll create little introduction videos for me, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But first, I just kind of want to talk about the class. This is Writing for Digital Media. I created this course probably about 2.5 years ago, I want to say. I probably piloted about 2.5 years ago. Every semester I run this course, every semester I teach this course. I'm making gradual improvements to it every time. It's not a perfect course yet, but it's getting better with every semester that it's run. It's working out a lot more smoothly. This semester, obviously, we've had to make a lot of changes and tweaks to it because it is online. So we'll see what happens, right? I think it'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. Basically, writing for digital media is more or less what we would call multimodal composition, multimodalities. You're going to learn about these in some of your first readings. It's basically communicating in more than one way, right? Rather than just talking or just writing, we incorporate visual, we have oral, we can use linguistic, we can use gestural. There's lots of different modes that we can use to communicate. And so in this class, basically what we're doing is called multimodal composition. We're going to be composing pieces of work. We're going to be creating things that are multimodal. It is called Writing for Digital Media because multimodal composition isn't very sexy, right? And so they needed a sexier name for the registrar. So Writing for Digital Media is a little bit sexier than multimodal composition. A lot of students sign up for this class with some misconceptions of what we're actually going to be doing in this class. Since this class has been running for 2.5 years now or so, I know there's a lot of gossip about the class. There's a lot of rumors about the class. There's lots of reviews about the class and things like that. People have their own opinions about it. So basically on the first day of class, I like to clarify a lot of these misconceptions and ask you sort of what you've heard about this class so I can either say it's true or false. Fortunately, we can't do that, but I'm going to address just a couple of the main ones. First of all, this is not a journalism class. A lot of students sign up. Writing for digital media kind of sounds like it's journalism. You're going to be learning how to write for newspapers and online magazines and things like that. In a way, you're going to learn how to create blog posts in the digital media sense, but this is definitely not a journalism class. It's very difficult to teach a journalism class in a country that doesn't have free press, right? This is not a creative writing course. This is not an academic writing course. This is not a grammar course. This is not a graphic design course, right? We are going to be studying design quite a bit, but it's not a graphic design course, right? It's not an art or an art history course. It's not a film studies course, right? There's lots of misconceptions about what this course is. Mainly because we are going to study lots of little different components of all of these different fields, right? We're going to have to dabble in film studies because we need to learn how to create multimodal videos, right? So we need to learn, you know, shot camera angles, camera shots. We need to learn some production techniques, right? So we're going to have to dive into film studies a little bit, right? We have to learn about design, because all the design and video editing are very important for the rhetorical aspects of this course, right? So we do have to study design. Before we can get into that, we have to sort of start at the very beginning. So we kind of got to come back to linguistic. We're studying linguistics a little bit. We're studying art and art history a little bit, so we can start learning the visuals, sort of visual rhetoric. You do have to be creative in this course to create. You are going to be creating videos, posters, blogs, websites, things like that. And like I said, we will be writing blogs, which is kind of like journalism, right? So we kind of put our fingers into all these other little disciplines all over the place, right? Because multimodal composition is a sort of new field that isn't clearly defined yet. And so we take from lots of other little disciplines and we study those things in order to make multimodal composition. So that's just kind of a little very brief description of the course, right? A little introduction of the course. Multimodal composition, as all of you know, is the sort of second year option that you can take as an elective. You could have taken technical writing or science writing or advanced composition or creative writing or public speaking, right? All these other ones. You chose to take multimodal composition. Multimodal composition, writing for digital media, whatever, they're the same. It builds off of what you learned in SHSS 150, mainly from the side of rhetoric, right? So hopefully you understand, hopefully you remember and you understood when you were creating your rhetorical analysis. That's where we're mainly going to build off these ideas of ethos, pathos, and logos, right? So we're going to go further into the rhetorical situation and start looking at digital rhetoric and visual rhetoric and these sort of things. So that's where it's kind of connected between the writing part of it. We're not really ever going to turn in an academic essay, so to say, in this course. You will do writing in the forms of blog posts, and you'll do writing in the forms of write-ups that are connected to more of your multimodal projects. But never in this course will I ask you to submit a 3,000-word essay as a final project sort of thing, right? We're going to be focusing on how to create and how to compose and how to put together multimodal projects, which, yes, will include some writing, some sort of linguistic mode, but there's going to be so much more to that, right? And that's where writing for digital media becomes a lot more fun in my mind than a lot of these other courses, that the other 200 level electives that you could have taken, like public speaking or science writing, so to say, right? So this semester will be fun. We're going to be working on a lot of different projects. We're going to be doing a lot of work, right? The class is fun, but it's not an easy A, so to say, right? It is possible to get an A in the course. I have had lots of students get A's, but I've also failed a lot of students, right? And so it all depends on the amount of work that you put into the course is really what's going to match your grade at the end, right? So it is going to be a lot of work. Trust me on this, right? You're going to be reading a lot. You're going to be creating a lot. You're going to be publishing a lot, so to say, on your blog posts or your write-ups or your videos and things like that, right? So there's going to be constant work throughout the semester. We have deadlines rolling throughout the entire semester. The readings, for the most part, are fairly easy. There's a lot of them, but they're not very difficult readings, so to say. Some of them are a little bit more advanced, but they're easy to understand once you sort of get into them, right? Once we start practicing and using them. The first half of the course is going to be really theoretical. We're going to do a lot of reading and lecturing in the first half of the course because we need to learn what multimodal composition is and what all these different fields, we need to learn about all these different fields that make up multimodal composition. The second half of the semester is going to be a lot of creating, right? So it's going to be a lot of you working and creating these projects, so to say, right? So the first half is pretty theoretical. The second half is a lot more practice, right? You need to learn first and then you can practice. That's typically how the semesters go. Like I said, this one's online, so who knows what's going to happen, right? I'm trying to follow that still, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. What else? One other misconception that I forgot to talk about is, or gossip or rumor, is that in order to get an A in this course, you have to have fancy $1,000 cameras and, you know, of ultra 4K HD high quality sort of stuff. Absolutely false. You need to have some sort of filming device for this course, especially since we're online, right? Typically, if we were on campus, like I still am, as you can probably see, I could lend you cameras, but since we're not on campus, you're going to have some sort of filming device. That can be a smartphone, it can be a camera, it could be a tablet, whatever you have, right? In the survey, everybody said that they have something to record on and they have something to edit on, so I think we'll be okay. But I've given out plenty of A's for people who have used my sort of not so advanced cameras. I've had people with A's who filmed everything on their iPhones or their Samsungs or whatever smartphone they have, right? I can't really grade you on the quality of video, so to say, or audio. I can grade you on the quality of the editing. I can grade you on the content that you're producing. But especially since I can't give you cameras, I really can't take points off for it being low quality, right? So that's absolutely false. Don't worry about having ultra HD video equipment. Not necessary. Obviously, if you have it, use it. That's wonderful, but it's not necessary to get an A in this course. Right? What else here? You don't necessarily need to have prior knowledge in anything that we're going to be discussing in this course. If you've never filmed anything before, that's fine. If you've never edited anything before, that's fine. If you've never created a poster before, if you've never created a website, that's fine. That's probably why you're taking this course, so you can learn these things. I will give you some short tutorials on basically how to put together a website, how to use a video editor, the very basics of a video editor, things like that. I'll give you some tutorials and I'll give you lots of other YouTube videos where you can learn these things, but you're gonna have to learn on your own, especially since this is an online semester, right? So you're gonna have to put effort into this. If you don't have experience already, you might have to go out and watch a few extra videos to start learning how to do these things, right? You're gonna have to teach yourself, right? What else here? What else do I need to talk about? I think that's about it, just for a basic introduction of the course and of myself. Before I end this video though, I do want to sort of talk a little bit about our Moodle page and address some of your concerns from the survey that I put out this past weekend. So let's take a look at our Moodle first here. So this is our Moodle page. Like I mentioned in my email, we will be using Moodle for everything for this course. We have to use Moodle. We have to use the gradebook on Moodle. You have to submit all of your assignments on Moodle. We'll get into this a little bit later once we actually start having our first assignment, but basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna submit links to all of your assignments on Moodle, and that's how I'll give you a grade for them. Everything I post on Moodle, I will also post in our, well, all the videos I post on Moodle or the links that I post on Moodle, I'll also post in our Telegram channel, which I have just recently created. I've never used Telegram before. This is my first semester doing it, so I'm going to try to utilize it in the best way possible. Hopefully it works out very well. You guys are probably more experienced in using Telegram because almost everybody who took the survey said that we should be using Telegram. So if you have suggestions for what we could be doing on Telegram, I'm all ears. You can definitely shoot me an email or we can talk about it on Zoom, whatever it might be, to see how we could utilize Telegram a little bit better for our class. For now, I'm just going to use it to post videos like this or other links and things like that, or to send you notifications and sort of upcoming things that are going on, right? So what I wanted to show you here, first of all, a couple things, right? We have our syllabus attached here. I'm going to go over the syllabus in the next video. We have our calendar. I'll go over that in the next video as well. Here's our blog post rubric. I'll go over that a little bit later in the semester when we start talking about our blog post. And then these next two things, right? This is a promotional video for this class, Writing for Digital Media. It was created by a former student of mine. It's a great video to watch. It basically gives you a lot of information about what we're going to be doing in the class. All the footage that you see in this video is all taken from former students, right? So it's a video about the class with all the work from the class put together by a student who took the class, basically, right? So you can see all the things you're going to learn from this course. Really great video, short, quick. I recommend watching it if you haven't done that already. I also have a link for a student review of the course. After this course, she decided to open up her own YouTube channel. And so she did a review about why to take Writing for Digital Media for Nazarbayev University students. Great video, about 10 minutes long. goes into a lot of detail about the things we're going to do for the class. Highly recommend watching that as well to get a better idea of what's going to go on this semester. So 2 great videos there. Check them out. All of your readings for the semester will be in this link here. It's a Google Drive folder that everybody has access to. And so these are all of our books here. Language and Learning will be the first reading you have to complete for the semester. This is our main textbook, Writer Designer, down here. It's broken up into all the chapters for you. I hope you can see this. Hold on. I need to do a new share. I forgot you can't see what I'm doing here. There we go. You should be able to see it now. Sorry. So here's your folder of all the readings. Language and Learning in the Digital Age is going to be the first reading that you have to complete here. It's broken down into chapters for you as well, or first 6 chapters and the last 2 chapters, important ones that I feel. Writer Designer is our main text that we'll be using throughout the semester. This is broken down into all 7 chapters of that book. Visual culture readings will be coming up pretty soon as well. These are the ones that are a little bit more difficult, but we'll talk about them when we get there. But here's almost all of our readings for the semester. Universal Principles of Design, UPD, will be another huge source that we're going to use once we get into looking at design. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there in that point in the semester. Let's go back to our Moodle page now. All right. Close these. So those are all our readings will be. You're going to have to complete a reading for this week. I'll go over that once in the next video for the syllabus and the calendar. The last thing I want to show you is what your homework, so to say, will be. I want you guys to record your first video for the semester, and I want it to be an introduction video. I want to get to know each and every one of you as best as I can through this online medium. We'll learn what medium is later on in the semester too. And I think this will be the best way for us to get to know each other, at least one-on-one. What I want you to do is I want you to take a video of yourself. It can just be on your phone, talking to yourself on your phone, or from your webcam like I'm doing right now on your laptop, whatever's easiest for you. If you want to edit it and make it amazing, do it. If you want to record it as a Instagram story, as a Facebook story, as a Snapchat, feel free to do that as well, right? However creative you want to be with this introduction video, I'm cool with it. I want to get to know who you are as a student, basically, right? So a couple things I want you to talk about in your video. Short video, doesn't have to be very long, no time limit. I would say a minute, 2 minutes is probably enough. First of all, your name, your major, year of study, and your age. Fairly basic, right? Year of study, I think everybody's a second-year student probably in our course, but still you can mention it. Where do you live, and where is this in Kazakhstan? Like I said, I've traveled a lot in Kazakhstan. I know where a lot of places are in Kazakhstan, but it really interests me to know where you're from and where that is in the country, right? You can tell me about your hometown too if you'd like. The next ones are probably the most important ones here, though. What experience do you have with creating and interacting with any form of digital media? So what experience do you have prior to enrolling in this course, right? Do you just engage with social media, right? Are you just on Facebook, Instagram, VK? Do you not create anything? You just engage, right? You just interact with digital media. You like watching YouTube videos. You like watching short videos. You like, looking at posters and getting information, whatever it may be, right? Or do you have some experience in creating, right? What do you create? Have you worked on websites before? Have you been a social media marketing manager? Are you a videographer? Do you do a lot of video editing? Do you do a lot of filming? Do you just do it for your personal use? Do you do it for professional? Like you sell it, right? You make money off of this. Are you creating posters? Like what experience do you have prior to enrolling in this course in engaging, interacting, and creating digital media, right? So talk to me a little bit about that. And again, if you don't have any experience, perfectly fine. That's again, probably why you enrolled in this class, right? So you can get some of this experience because you know that these skills are going to be important for you in the future, right? These are very important, very, what's the word? Practical skills to learn, especially at this point in age, especially right now when everything is online, right? So if you don't have any experience, feel free to let me know about that. But then, talk a little bit more about the next question. Why are you taking this course, right? Why did you sign up for this course? The obvious answer that I typically get is, it fit into my schedule. I just needed another course to put in my schedule. Hopefully we don't have that answer this time because everybody has an open schedule, right? So let me know why you're taking this course. Also talk to me about what you hope to get out of this class, right? What do you hope to learn in this class? And it may go hand in hand of why you took this class, right? So what do you hope to learn and do with once you get out of this class, right? What do you want to have under your tool belt? And then you can just end it by talking about, some interesting personal things about yourself. What do you do in your free time? What do you enjoy doing? What experiences have you had, in the real world? What's been going on during this whole pandemic? How have you been at home? What's new? Have you been coping, right? Your hopes and dreams, whatever. You don't have to answer all of these questions. These are just examples of what I kind of want to see from you, just because I want to get to know you a little bit better, right? This will allow us to connect to each other as a discourse community of writing for digital media, right? So I want you to do this as a video. Everybody should have, I think everybody responded saying that they do have at least a smartphone, so I do expect this to be a video, right? You are taking multimodal composition, writing for digital media, so let's try to move away from that boring monomodal communication style of just writing, right? Just text. So let's work in some audio, let's work in some video, let's work in some linguistics, talking, oral communication, right? So this is your homework, so to say, right? These is what we would do either on the first or the second day of class normally, right? So let's say that this is due on Thursday during our class time sometime, right? So if you're in my first section, it would be before 4:30 p.m. If you're in my second section, it'd be before 6 p.m., right? Or everybody can just have it due before 6 p.m. on Thursday. It's not a graded assignment. I really just want to watch them and get to know who you are, right? This is a forum. So once you click on it, everybody will just add a new discussion topic, and you can just post a link to this video, either if you upload it on YouTube or Vimeo, or you can upload it to your own personal Google Drive and give me a link. If it's small enough, you may even be able to upload it directly to Moodle. I'm not sure. I think Moodle has up to like 2.4 gigs when you upload things. It may work, it may not work, right? So figure out a way to get a link on here. Since it is in a forum, everybody will have access to this, right? So if you want to get to know who your classmates are, this would be a great way to sort of introduce yourself, right? Introduce as if we were introducing ourselves to the class, right? I will be watching them for sure. You guys don't have to watch them if you don't want to get to know your peers. Completely up to you. So that is your homework, so to say, right? Last thing I want to do before we end this video, I think it's getting a bit long already, is I want to address some of your concerns from the survey. Thank you for everybody who responded. I got 45 out of 48 students. I think that's wonderful. I take all of your concerns to heart, and I'm going to adapt the class to sort of what you're talking about, right? Like I said, I've already introduced Telegram to the course because of your comments in the survey. Some people are worried about the quality of the video materials on the devices. Like I said, I can't deduct points, or I can't take points off because you have a low quality video, right? You're asking what you can do. You have some life hacks. Based off of what I've learned from Telegram, I would say use Telegram to get videos from your phone to your computer. That seems to be the easiest way. Telegram has a web app, just like WhatsApp does. You can upload up to 1.5 gigabytes on Telegram, I believe. It may be higher now, I'm not sure. So I would say go with Telegram. That's my suggestion. I asked a question about group work, and a lot of people were concerned about this. We will not have any, how can I say this? any group work that we do in this class will not be based on a grade, right? You will not have grade-based group work due in this class. When we had this class in class, right, face-to-face, the final project was a group project. Some of the other projects could be done in groups, but since we're all online now, I'm not going to force anybody to work in groups. When we do group work, it'll be in the form of a peer review, or it'll be in the form of sort of group reading, where you guys can get together and read some of our more difficult readings, some of our more difficult articles. You can read them together and make notes on them together so that you can help each other understand, right? When we start working in design, I'll also probably pair you guys up, put you guys into groups so you can analyze different things as a group when we're first learning about design and the universal principles of design. But none of those things will be based on a grade. So I will probably choose the groups. I don't know any of you. I don't know who of you are friends with each other. But I'll probably just randomly create the groups so you can work together in those groups. But again, it won't be based on a grade, so it shouldn't hurt you at all. One thing, I'm not familiar with some programs. Like I said, I will give you YouTube videos. I will give you some short tutorials to get you more used to using these programs, but you're still gonna have to learn on your own. Prior video editing experience affect your performance of the course. You don't need any. If you have it, that's great. Otherwise, you might be starting a little bit behind everybody else, but it still won't affect your performance in the course. Meetings, I don't think we'll do meetings at all asynchronously. So get some extra materials on YouTube, I will give that. Questions will appear after reading the syllabus. No comments, excited to start the course. Me too, I'm glad you're excited. Unstable internet connection, it will be troublesome because everything is gonna be online, and when you're putting together all of your projects, it's going to be difficult to download all of these things and upload it again to get it to me, right? So maybe start looking at how you can solve this issue. Looking forward to starting the new semester. Me too. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well, sort of. And that's about it. So not very many concerns, but I just wanted to address them before we ended this video. Stop that, or come back here. So, like I said, it's going to be a fun semester. Obviously, if you have questions, I am available by email during normal working hours. We might consider putting together a group chat for Telegram. I think you guys, as in your individual sections, should probably start a group chat anyway, so you can communicate with each other. I'll consider how I can or might be a part of that. I'm still thinking about how I can do that. Without being overwhelmed with everything that you need from me. Obviously, though, I'm still available through email, and we can always schedule an appointment to chat on Zoom or any other sort of video communication device to answer any of your questions. So I hope you're excited to start the semester. I'm excited to start the semester. We'll see what happens, right? Like, who knows? We'll make it work, though. You work with me, and I'll work with you. We'll just kind of go one step at a time. We'll figure it out. So great to meet you guys. I hope you're excited.